Part of my job at Kicker is writing reviews of artists, both of releases, so singles, EPs, albums, and of live performances. This is really fun. I really enjoy doing this, but sometimes I wonder how helpful it actually is to artists. A good review is always nice. It's good content to post on social media, and it's good to show your fans that, yeah, we're actually getting recognition from people who know what they're talking about. That's kind of it. Unless you're being reviewed from a major credible source, like Kerrang or NME, credible in quote marks by the way, you're not actually that likely to get more fans from reviews. This is because, as Lenny so eloquently put in the video that we put out last week, reviewers review bands because they want traffic to their website. They will review a band because the band is likely to share that on social media and direct their fans to the reviewer's site. So the reviewer's priority is always getting people to read their article rather than getting people to listen to your music. You are very likely to have more followers on your social media pages than this blog has. So it is in that blog's interest to kind of steal your followers and get them to become regular readers of their blog. So while it's really good to get a good review and it's nice to hear good things said about you, all it does is gives you something to brag about to your current audience. Some good reviews are actually just when a reviewer has been lazy and they've decided, oh, I'm just going to copy and paste this entire press release into the article and put that out as my article. And while for really beginner bands this is okay because it's showing that they are getting a little bit of attention and it's good to help them get gigs and get out there a bit more, this is absolutely pointless because it's not even providing any insight on what's good about your music, it's not saying what's bad about your music, it's not saying anything, it's just repeating what you said to them to the public, which is a bit pointless. Your fans are probably already going to know that you're releasing a new song soon, and they're probably already going to listen to it. They're not going to need a review to come out about it to make them want to listen to it to form an opinion. If they are your fans, they will have listened to it already and formed their own opinion. Because of how accessible music is to everyone now via the internet for things like YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, whatever, reviews aren't the main way that people discover music anymore. Back in maybe 10, 15 years ago, people would read a magazine and there'd be an article in it about a new up-and-coming band that'd be really interesting, and someone would read it and go, oh, that's a cool band, I might go to one of their gigs to see what they're like or buy their CD. As we all know, that's not how the industry works anymore. If someone is interested in you and they find you on Spotify, they'll just listen to you on Spotify. They don't need to read about you in a magazine to do that. It is so easy to consume new music now that we don't need persuading by other people to do it. So bad reviews are the complete opposite of that. No one wants a bad review. While you could argue that it is helpful to the artist because it might provide some constructive criticism and help them better themselves as an artist, it's not good for content. It is pointless to share a bad review to your fans unless you're like, oh, look at what this shit reviewer said about us, we're great, fuck what they say, which is pointless because that's just engaging in petty squabbles over social media that makes you as an artist look silly. This doesn't actually help you at all. Some blogs will use honesty as their main selling point. A blog might say, every track we review, we are going to give it our complete honest opinion. We're not going to butter it up, we're not going to try and sell it to you, we are just going to tell you what we think of your track. Which is all well and good for journalistic integrity and all that, but it doesn't actually help anybody. Because if a reviewer like this gets a song they don't like, they're going to write a review about it, saying they don't like it, saying why they don't like it, and it's very likely that they're going to put a few jabs in there to drive a bit of controversy and get traffic to their site, because as we all know, that is the end goal for the reviewer.
These kind of things only matter if the reviewer themselves actually have an audience, because if they're doing a negative review and have people who respect their opinion, that's worthwhile knowing. Oh, I probably shouldn't check out that album because it wasn't very well produced or whatever. But the vast majority of reviewers don't have that. They aren't that.
Yeah, so when you have a small reviewer who's reviewed a single and they said, oh, this band's shit, never gonna get anywhere, they're an Oasis ripoff, that doesn't help anybody. All it serves to do is stir up a bit of shit on social media, get people reading the review because, ooh, controversy and conflict is fun to watch from a distance, but it doesn't help an artist build their audience, it doesn't help an artist solidify their audience, because if the artist decides to share that bad review and highlight a point from it that they thought was funny, to take the mick out of it in some way, that's just seen as petty, that's not professional, and that's not how an artist should be behaving. If I were to receive a request to review a track that I didn't like, or I felt like I couldn't say anything nice about it, I wouldn't bother, because it's pointless. I would instead tell that artist, I'm not going to review your track because of these reasons. My advice to you is this. Take a bit more time on this, do this a bit differently, maybe work on your singing a bit more, something like that. to help that band, because that's obviously part of my job working for Kicker, is to help bands, and even bands that come to me asking for reviews or feedback, I will give that. When I write a review, my focus is highlighting the good parts of an artist that other artists could benefit from. We kind of market the Kicker blog as educational for artists, to help them with their careers, with songwriting, with anything related to their music. Say I'm reviewing an album that I really like the way the bass sounds on this album. I would say, artists who are trying to get a similar sound to this, do this in your mix or when you write songs so you can sound like this. Take a leaf out of this artist's book so you can improve your own music. So what should you do? What exactly should you do when you get reviews? What is it helping? My advice to you is the best thing that you can get from your reviews is to salvage one really good sentence from each of those reviews. Say you get 10 reviews over the course of a year. Pick one sentence from each of those reviews that highlights a different thing about your music or your performance or the way you present yourself or anything. Put them on a press release or an EPK or a press pack of some kind, and this will help you massively. This not only proves that you have had press attention before, which means that bigger reviewers are more likely to pick you up and work with you. This means that grant givers, like the PRSF, are more likely to take you seriously because it's obvious that you are kind of going somewhere. This is also helpful when you are applying for festivals. It means that you've got traction, as they call it, and these are all things that people in the music industry looking for new artists want. They want to know that you have had good things said about you, which kind of contradicts what I've been talking about through the entire video, but that's just how it works. If you can get one good sentence from each of your reviews and put them together to form something that you can present to people to say, we haven't said this about ourselves, this is what other people have said about us, and if they all come across as sincere, then you're onto a winner.
I think the point that you've just made, where it's like kind of contradicts, it doesn't really. All it's saying is that industry people care. Actual fans, like real people, don't.
I suppose I confused industry people with reviewers because, as we've said, reviewers, their entire purpose is to drive traffic to their platform, whereas people in the music industry want to actually know what people think of this band. Is this band going to sell tickets? Is this band going to get traction with their new album?
But even so, nowadays, as much as people used to look at Facebook likes, which is a terrible way of doing it, looking at something like Spotify monthly listeners is actually an incredible way of doing it, because that's real people listening to that music.
Yeah, that shows you your fans, not people who have, oh, please, I've invited, just like my page, we knew each other in school 7 years ago, please just like my page.
Yeah, and by the same token, you could just know someone who does reviews, they could do a 10 out of 10 review, that doesn't mean anyone's listening to you, which is more important to industry people than having the good review.
Yeah.
They'd rather you be bad and popular.
While on the surface, a review might be great. It's good for social media. It's good to say, oh yeah, this nice person said this thing about us. It's great. Think about whether it's worth it to do the things needed to get those reviews. Is it worth spending 4 hours poring over a press release that could be spent writing or perfecting a mix? Is it worth spending £700 to give to a PR company to get 6 reviews for your EP that do fuck all for you? No, it's probably not. It's worth saying as well that you can do DIY PR. While it probably won't be as successful as paid for PR, if you know people who write blogs or local reviewers or things like that, get in contact with them directly and send them your shit. Be organised. Send them a press release, send them press photos, send them a private SoundCloud link to the song. Be organised, have all your shit together, send it to these people and get reviews that way. While this is more likely to spawn the kind of review that is just a copy-paste of your press release, for beginner bands, this is probably the best way to do it. However, if you're confident that getting reviews is going to help you expand, build on your audience and solidify your current audience, great. Do it. I'm not here to tell you not to do PR, not to seek out reviews. Reviews are shit. Fuck journalism. If you think it's right for you, then do it. If you don't think it's right for you, maybe use that money and pay for some social media adverts. Lenny put out some quite new style videos that we've been planning on doing. As Lenny said the other week, we are trying to shake up what we do with Music Lab. We are trying to do things differently, try different styles of videos, do things on different schedules. So let us know what you think. Let us know what you think we should do. We want to give you shit that you like, so tell us what that shit is. If you want to see more videos from this series, then click over there. If you want to see the video that I have referenced often in this video, which was last week's video that Lenny did about PR and plugin, click over there. Okay, bye.